So the WWE Championship match at WrestleMania 33 was Bray Wyatt versus Randy Orton. It was the culmination of their Viper in the Family storyline. But it was a storyline that had three people in it, right? Like it was Bray Wyatt, Randy Orton, and Luke Harper, who's now in AEW as Brodie Lee. But yet, for whatever reason, Harper was left out of that match. And I think, was he in the Battle Royal on that card?
He technically, well, no. So, I think he was. So I remember listening to the interview on Talk is Jericho that he was in the build to it, but then didn't have anything and actually complained to the office about it, at which point they were like, oh, sorry. And then they put him in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. And I think it was shortly thereafter he asked for his release, or am I mixing up the years? I'm not entirely sure.
I think you might be mixing up your years there because he was in the battle, like he'd been off TV for ages and said, I'm now ready. So they put him into the NXT, the Worlds Collide thing. They put him on that show there. He had a match against Dijak. And because he complained about it on social media, then they put him in the Battle Royal on that year. So I can't remember what he actually did at 33. But point is, he should have been in that WWE Championship match because like the whole storyline was that Harper didn't trust Randy, but Bray did. And Harper was always there, you know, give him the eye, being like, we shouldn't trust this guy. He's a Viper, this, that, and the other. But Bray was like, no, we've got to trust this guy. We're tag champs, etc., etc. And then, Harper was proven right. And so, like, I mean, so I think my argument has always been like, A, he should have been in the match because it made the most storyline sense. But B, if he was in the match, it might not have been as awful as it ended up being.
No, there might have been fewer maggots on the ground and a few less of the kind of the Willy Wonka. What's that song? It's like there's no way of knowing which direction. Very stupid match. He was briefly in the match, sort of. Remember back then when he was in a battle, he was in a different battle royal to decide the number one contender because Randy Orton gave up his shot, which he won in the Royal Rumble, which he then took back. So but briefly, it was Luke Harper versus AJ Styles because they both won the Battle Royal to determine the number one contender. And then it looked like, he was going to beat AJ, but then AJ won it. And then he got the shot and that put AJ versus Shane. It was very, very dumb. But like they had an amazing match at, I want to say, Elimination Chamber.
Yep, Harper and Orton.
Yeah, it was really, really good. And like everyone was super high on Harper. And like people were properly like, he should be the number one contender. Which is obviously like when Bludgeon Brothers happened, that kind of seems weird to look back on. But no, I thought it would have been really, really good. And also Eric Rowan was about ready to kind of come back at that time. So he could have been a deciding factor in it. I think it could have been an all Wyatt family WWE title kind of story. I think it would have been really interesting.
Yeah, and it's Harper always felt like one of those guys, like Rusev in a certain way, that fans were saying like, man, this guy really should be in way bigger matches than he often is. And like Harper's WWE run really has been, you're a tag guy. You know, it was the tag team when he was in the Wyatt family. He had a small singles run with the IC belt after the Wyatt family split. And then, back to being in tag teams. Then he was back to he was just tagging with Rowan all the time. Like that was his lot in WWE life.
Yeah, I mean that's like he talked about in the interview with Jericho, which is just just be careful of having too much chemistry with someone because otherwise it's just an easy answer for the bookers. Just like, well, they work together, they live together, they travel together. His entire career was kind of built around Eric Rowan. And there was also that talk where, because obviously we see Brodie Lee being kind of like the smart monster in AEW. The guy can talk. He still has the same Luke Harper look, but he's definitely more mercurial. And I just found it fascinating that they teamed him with Eric for so long. And Luke Harper apparently pitched this idea of being smarter than he looks, which you saw glimmers of when he was he had Randy Orton sussed. And then eventually the only Wyatt to have been given that smart monster push was Eric Rowan in the end, which is like real weird irony.
Yeah, because there was a couple of weeks where it was like, oh, I'm really good at the guitar. I can solve Rubik's Cubes dead fast. Did you know I make wine? Because that's what smart people do, Adam. I don't know if you know. There's the 3 big traits of smart people: playing the
Yeah.
guitar, solving Rubik's Cubes, making wine.
Yeah, I've got some wine going in the bath upstairs. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a typical like you know, you hire someone to, you know, someone who's not famously smart to be a smart person in your movie, so you put glasses on them, tie their hair in a ponytail, and make them wear a lab coat. That's how you get to be smart.
It just turns out that those French guys in that first season of The Simpsons were actually super smart because they were making their own wine at home.
Oh my God, that's a flashback episode. So ultimately, yeah, we like it's always been the story of Luke Harper that he is better than he was given. The Harper and Rowan, one of the greatest tag teams to have never been a really big deal. Like it's weird, like they were the Bludgeon Brothers, but like there were matches. I can't remember the actual pay-per-view, but there was one match they had against the Usos, which was just incredible. I think it was 2 out of 3 falls. And it just goes to show, yeah, he's so good, but like he had that look, which wasn't main event look. He had a really iconic like pairing with another wrestler, which again is just like keeps circling back to the same ideas. And it was such a shame. Like even when like there was an idea for him to get, you know, finally depart from the Wyatts and do his own thing. Again, it's something he mentioned. You know, he was going to be put with someone else, but he was going to be put with Sami Zayn, and he was going to be the Diesel to Sami Zayn's Shawn. So he's always the muscle, always the heater, never the bride.